Hey, beautiful souls. Are you ready for a journey from desperation to destiny? From the crushing weight of failure to the discovery of unimaginable power? Tonight, we're diving deep into a world where one night can change everything, where ancient magic awakens in the most unexpected hearts, and where sometimes your greatest transformation begins with your darkest moment. I need you to buckle up because we're about to meet Aurora Blake, a woman whose life is crumbling around her. Eviction notices, impossible choices, and a future that looks bleaker by the day. But here's what I want you to remember as we begin. Sometimes we have to break completely before we can become something extraordinary. Sometimes the person we're meant to be is hidden beneath the weight of who we think we should be. Are you with me? Then let's step into that crowded Seattle nightclub on the night Aurora stopped running from her problems and ran straight into her destiny. Because what she doesn't know yet is that the stranger with amber eyes waiting across that dance floor isn't just trouble. He's the catalyst that will shatter her ordinary human existence and awaken a power the supernatural world has been waiting centuries to see. This is the story of the Convergence. This is the story of how everything changed. Chapter 1. The eviction notice trembles in my hands as I stare at the bold red letters. Final notice. 30 days. My chest tightens, and I can barely breathe in the suffocating heat of my studio apartment. The air conditioning died 3 weeks ago. Another expense I can't afford. Shit, I whisper, sinking onto my threadbare couch. The cushions lost their shape months ago. Much like my life seems to be losing its structure. My phone buzzes. Another text from my sister, Riley. Any word on the job interview? I can't tell her I was turned down again. Riley's already sacrificing so much, working double shifts at the hospital to help with Mom's medical bills. The last thing she needs is to worry about me too. Still waiting to hear back, I type, hating myself for the lie. The walls of my apartment feel like they're closing in. I need air. I need space. I need to forget, just for one night, that my carefully constructed life is crumbling around me. I shower quickly, letting the lukewarm water wash away the day's disappointments. In my tiny closet, I find the one dress that still makes me feel like myself. A deep crimson number that hugs my curves and makes my dark eyes pop. It's probably too much for wherever I'm going, but I don't care. Tonight, I'm not Aurora Blake, the struggling graphic designer facing eviction. Tonight, I'm someone else entirely. The bass from Eclipse thrums through my chest before I even reach the entrance. The club is packed, bodies pressed together on the dance floor, sweat and perfume and something wilder mixing in the air. I order a vodka tonic and find a spot at the bar where I can observe without being noticed. That's when I see him. He's standing across the room, and even in the dim lighting, he commands attention. Tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair that looks like he's been running his fingers through it. He's wearing a simple black shirt that does nothing to hide the powerful build underneath. But it's not his looks that make my breath catch. It's the way he moves, predatory, fluid, like he owns every inch of space around him. Our eyes meet across the crowded room, and something electric shoots through me. His gaze is intense, almost amber in the club's lighting, and I feel exposed, like he can see straight through my carefully constructed facade. He starts moving toward me, cutting through the crowd with an ease that should be impossible. People step aside without even realizing they're doing it. My heart hammers against my ribs, and I grip my drink tighter. "You look like you're running from something," he says when he reaches me. His voice is deep, with a roughness that makes my skin prickle with awareness. Maybe I am. I take a sip of my drink, surprised by my own boldness. "And you look like trouble." He laughs, and the sound does something to my insides. "Definitely." He signals the bartender. "Whiskey neat." Then he turns those amber eyes back to me. "I'm Cole. Aurora." The name feels strange on my tongue, like I'm introducing a different version of myself. Beautiful name for a beautiful woman. He leans closer, and I catch his scent, something woodsy and wild that makes my head spin. "Dance with me, Aurora." It's not really a question, but I nod anyway. His hand finds mine, and the moment our skin touches, heat races up my arm. He leads me onto the dance floor, and suddenly we're pressed together, moving to the pulsing beat. His hands settle on my waist, and I can feel the warmth of his palms through the thin fabric of my dress. Every nerve ending in my body comes alive. This is insane. I don't do this. Don't let strangers touch me like this. Don't lose myself in the heat of someone I've just met. But with Cole, I can't seem to help myself. "What are you running from?" he asks, his lips close to my ear. The vibration of his voice sends shivers down my spine. Life, I answer honestly. Responsibilities. Reality. His arms tighten around me. What if I told you that you don't have to run anymore? I pull back to look at him, searching his face. There's something in his expression, intense, possessive, almost desperate. I'd say you don't know anything about me. I know enough. His thumb traces along my jawline, and my knees nearly buckle. I know you're stronger than you think. I know you're fighting a battle you shouldn't have to fight alone. The words hit too close to home, and suddenly I'm blinking back tears. How can this stranger see me so clearly when everyone else in my life thinks I have it all together? Come home with me, he says, and there's something almost vulnerable in the request. I should say no. I should finish my drink, go home to my crumbling apartment, and face my problems like a responsible adult. Instead, I find myself nodding. The cab ride to his place is a blur of heated glances and barely restrained tension. His apartment, no penthouse, is stunning. All floor-to-ceiling windows and modern furniture. But I barely have time to take it in before he's pressing me against the closed front door, his mouth finding mine. The kiss is everything, desperate, consuming, perfect. He tastes like whiskey and something wilder, and I can't get enough. My hands fist in his shirt, pulling him closer, and he groans against my lips. Are you sure? He asks, pulling back just enough to search my eyes. Yes, I breathe, and I've never been more certain of anything in my life. He lifts me easily, carrying me toward his bedroom, and I'm lost in the sensation of being wanted, needed, claimed. For the first time in months, I feel alive. Hours later, I lie in his arms, my head on his chest, listening to the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. His fingers trace lazy patterns on my bare shoulder, and I feel more peaceful than I have in years. Stay, he murmurs into my hair. I want a god, I want him more than anything. But reality creeps in like cold morning light, and I remember who I am, what's waiting for me back home. I can't, I whisper. His arms tighten around me. Aurora, this was perfect, I interrupt, pressing a soft kiss to his chest. But it's not real life. I slip from his embrace while he's still sleeping, gathering my clothes and dressing quietly. At the door, I turn back once. He looks younger in sleep, almost vulnerable, and something in my chest aches. I leave without waking him, without leaving a note, without even knowing his last name. The cab ride home feels like a return to prison. My phone has 3 missed calls from Riley, and the eviction notice is still sitting on my coffee table like a death sentence. But something's different. I feel different, more alive, more aware of everything around me. The cab driver's cologne seems overwhelming, and I can hear conversations from other cars even with the windows up. Back in my apartment, I catch my reflection in the bathroom mirror. My lips are swollen from his kisses, my hair wild, and there are marks on my neck where his mouth had been. But it's my eyes that stop me cold. They seem brighter, almost luminous in the harsh bathroom lighting. I shake my head, attributing it to lack of sleep and too much alcohol. But as I crawl into bed, still wearing his scent on my skin, I can't shake the feeling that something fundamental has changed, something that can't be undone. Chapter 2. I wake up to the sound of my neighbor's dog barking, but it's different somehow. Sharper, more distinct. I can hear the individual notes in its howl, the frustration and longing that drives the sound. My eyes snap open, and the morning light streaming through my thin curtains feels blindingly bright. Everything is too much, too loud, too bright, too intense. I stumble to the bathroom, squinting against the harsh fluorescent bulb. My reflection stops me cold. My skin has a luminous quality I've never noticed before, and my eyes, they're definitely brighter, more vibrant than usual. I lean closer to the mirror, searching for some explanation, but find none. Get it together, Aurora, I mutter, splashing cold water on my face. You had too much to drink and not enough sleep. But even as I say it, I know it's not true. I only had 2 drinks last night, and despite getting maybe 4 hours of sleep, I feel more energized than I have in months. My phone rings, and Riley's name flashes across the screen. I answer on the second ring. Hey, Rory. Riley, thank God. I've been worried sick. You didn't answer any of my calls yesterday. Guilt twists in my stomach. Sorry, I was out. Out! There's surprise in her voice. I never go out. With people. Something like that. I pad to my kitchen, opening the refrigerator out of habit, even though I know it's nearly empty. The smell hits me immediately. Not just the sour milk I forgot to throw out, but layers of scents I've never noticed before. The metallic tang of leftover takeout, the sharp bite of wilted lettuce, even the plastic of the containers themselves. I slam the door shut, my stomach churning. Rory, you there? Yes, sorry. Just tired. Did you hear back about the hospital position? They're still reviewing applications. She changes the subject before I can ask more questions. How's Mom? She's good. Asking about you as always. The physical therapy is helping with her mobility. Relief floods through me. At least that's one thing going right. After we hang up, I force myself to shower and get dressed for another day of job hunting. But as I'm putting on makeup, my hand freezes. There on my neck are the marks Cole left. They should have faded by now. It's been 12 hours, but they look as fresh as if he'd just touched me. I layer on concealer, but the marks seem to burn beneath the makeup, a constant reminder of last night. The memory of his hands on my skin, his mouth on mine, sends heat pooling low in my belly. I shake my head, forcing myself to focus. I have interviews today, assuming I can convince them to meet with me on short notice. But as I step outside, the world assaults me again. Car exhaust, blooming flowers, someone's breakfast cooking 2 blocks away. Every scent is magnified tenfold. I have to stop and lean against a lamppost, overwhelmed by the sensory overload. You okay, honey? An elderly woman with a small terrier stops beside me, concern creasing her features. Fine, I manage. Just dizzy. But it's more than that. I can smell her perfume, yes, but also her shampoo, her laundry detergent, even the medication she takes. And her dog, I can smell its anxiety, its territorial instincts, its desire to mark every tree we pass. This isn't normal. None of this is normal. The interviews are disasters. At the marketing firm, I can hear every conversation in the building. The receptionist complaining about her boyfriend, someone microwaving fish in the break room, a meeting 2 floors up where they're discussing budget cuts. I can barely concentrate on the questions being asked. At the second place, it's the scents that overwhelm me. The interviewer's cologne is so strong I have to excuse myself to the bathroom twice, fighting waves of nausea. By the time I reach the 3rd appointment, a small design studio in the arts district, I'm questioning my sanity. Maybe I'm having some kind of breakdown. The stress of the eviction notice, Mom's medical bills, the constant rejection. Maybe it's finally getting to me. Aurora Blake, the receptionist, a young man with perfectly styled hair, looks up from his computer. Marcus will see you now. Marcus turns out to be a tall, lean man in his 40s with kind eyes and an easy smile. His office is bright and airy, filled with examples of the studio's work, clean, modern designs that make my fingers itch to create. Your portfolio is impressive, he says, flipping through my work. Especially this branding project for the nonprofit. Very innovative approach. Thank you. I try to focus on his words, but there's something else demanding my attention. A scent, warm and woodsy and achingly familiar, growing stronger by the second. My heart starts to race. The position is for a senior designer role, Marcus continues. We're a small team, but we work with some great clients. The pay is competitive and... The door to his office opens, and my world tilts on its axis. Cole stands in the doorway, but he's different from the man I met at the club. Gone are the casual clothes and tousled hair. This version of him wears an expensive charcoal suit that emphasizes his broad shoulders and commanding presence. His hair is perfectly styled, and there's an aura of power around him that makes the air in the room feel charged. But his eyes, those amber eyes I can't forget, are fixed on me with an intensity that makes my breath catch. Marcus, he says, his voice smooth and controlled, nothing like the rough whisper from last night. I hope I'm not interrupting. Of course not, Mr. Hastings. Marcus stands immediately, and I notice the difference in his posture, the deference in his tone. This is Aurora Blake, the designer I mentioned. Aurora, this is Cole Hastings, the CEO of Hastings Enterprises. CEO. Of course he is. Ms. Blake. He extends his hand, and I have no choice but to take it. The moment our skin touches, electricity shoots up my arm, and I see his pupils dilate in response. Mr. Hastings, I manage, surprised my voice sounds steady. Actually, Cole says, not releasing my hand, I was hoping to speak with Ms. Blake privately about a potential project. Marcus is already backing toward the door. Of course. Take all the time you need. And then we're alone. Cole closes the door and turns to face me, and suddenly the spacious office feels tiny. He's studying me with those amber eyes, and I feel exposed, like he can see the effect he's having on me. "You left," he says quietly. "I had to." "Why?" The simple question catches me off guard. Because it wasn't real. Because men like you don't end up with women like me. Because I was scared of how you made me feel. Instead, I say, because it was a one-night stand. That's how they work. Something flashes across his features. Hurt maybe, or frustration. Is that all it was to you? No. God, no. I haven't been able to stop thinking about him, about the way he touched me, the way he looked at me like I was the only woman in the world. But I can't tell him that. "What are you doing here, Cole?" "I own this building," he says, moving closer. "Marcus works for one of my subsidiary companies." Of course he does. So this is all some elaborate setup. No. He stops just within arm's reach, close enough that I can smell his cologne, that woodsy scent that makes my knees weak. The interview was real. Marcus doesn't know about last night. But when I saw your name on the list of candidates. He trails off, his voice dropping to that rough whisper I remember. "I decided to see you again. Because I can't stop thinking about you." My pulse jumps, but I force myself to take a step back. "Last night was a mistake." "Was it?" He follows my retreat, backing me against the wall of windows. "Because you feel it too, don't you? This pull between us. It's not going away, Aurora." He's right, and that terrifies me. I can feel it now, stronger than ever. This magnetic draw that makes me want to close the distance between us, to lose myself in his touch again. "This is crazy," I whisper. "Maybe." His hand comes up to cup my cheek, and I lean into the touch before I can stop myself. "But tell me you don't feel it." "I can't. Because I do feel it. This inexplicable connection that defies logic. And it's only gotten stronger since last night." "Take the job," he says, his thumb tracing across my lower lip. "Work for me." "I can't." "You need it," he says, and there's no judgment in his voice, only understanding. "I know you're struggling. Let me help you." Pride wars with desperation. I do need the job. Need it desperately. But working for him, seeing him every day when I'm already struggling to forget last night. "Just the job," I hear myself say. Nothing more. Something predatory flashes in his eyes, but he nods. Just the job. I don't believe him. More importantly, I don't believe myself. As if sensing my thoughts, he leans closer, his lips almost brushing my ear. "But Aurora, running away won't make this go away. Whatever's between us, it's not finished." He pulls back, straightening his tie like nothing happened, like he didn't just turn my world upside down again. "Marcus will give you the details," he says, moving toward the door. "You start Monday." And then he's gone, leaving me alone with my racing heart and the growing certainty that my life just became infinitely more complicated. Chapter 3. Monday morning arrives with a vengeance. I've spent the weekend alternating between excitement about the job and panic about seeing Cole again. The strange symptoms haven't subsided. If anything, they've gotten worse. I can hear my upstairs neighbor's alarm clock through the ceiling, and the smell of coffee from the cafe 3 blocks away makes my mouth water. The Hastings Enterprises building is a sleek glass tower in downtown Seattle, 40 stories of steel and ambition reaching toward the sky. I stand on the sidewalk for a moment, tilting my head back to take it all in. Somewhere in there is Cole, and the thought makes my pulse quicken. The lobby is all marble and chrome, with a massive water feature that probably costs more than my yearly rent. I approach the reception desk where a woman with perfectly coiffed blonde hair greets me with a practiced smile. "Aurora Blake," I tell her. It's my first day with Marcus Webb's team. Her fingers fly over her keyboard, and then her expression shifts slightly. "Of course, Ms. Blake. You'll be working on the 32nd floor, but Mr. Hastings would like to see you first." 39th floor. My stomach drops. "Is that normal?" "Mr. Hastings takes a personal interest in all new hires," she says smoothly, but there's something in her eyes that suggests this isn't entirely true. The elevator ride to the 39th floor feels like it lasts forever. When the doors open, I'm greeted by another reception area, this one even more luxurious than the lobby. A woman with silver hair and kind eyes stands as I approach. "Ms. Blake, I'm Helen, Mr. Hastings' assistant. He's waiting for you." She leads me down a hallway lined with original artwork, past conference rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows. Cole's office is at the end of the hall, and through the glass walls, I can see him standing with his back to us, looking out at the city. Helen knocks softly and opens the door. "Ms. Blake is here. Send her in," comes his familiar voice. I step inside, and Helen closes the door behind me. The office is enormous, probably larger than my entire apartment. One wall is completely windows, offering a stunning view of the city and the mountains beyond. But it's the man standing silhouetted against that view who commands all my attention. He turns, and I'm struck again by how different he looks in his business attire. The charcoal suit is perfectly tailored, emphasizing his broad shoulders and lean waist. His dark hair is styled, but I can see where he's run his fingers through it, a nervous habit that humanizes him somehow. "Aurora." He crosses the room toward me, and I catch that scent again, woodsy, wild, dangerous. "Thank you for coming. Did I have a choice?" A smile tugs at the corner of his mouth. "There's always a choice. Then why am I here instead of starting work with Marcus?" He stops just close enough that I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. "Because I wanted to make sure you're okay." "I'm fine. Are you?" His gaze searches my face. "No strange symptoms?" "Changes you can't explain." My blood turns to ice. "What are you talking about?" Instead of answering, he moves to his desk and picks up a small mirror, bringing it back to me. "Look at your eyes, Aurora." I take the mirror reluctantly, and my reflection stops me cold. My dark eyes, which were merely brighter over the weekend, now have definite flecks of amber threading through them. It's subtle but unmistakable. "What?" My voice comes out as a whisper. How long have you been experiencing heightened senses?" I stare at him, my mind racing. "How do you know about that?" "Answer the question." The authority in his voice makes me want to comply, which only makes me more stubborn. "I don't owe you any answers." "Actually, you do." His expression grows serious. "Because what's happening to you is my fault." "Your fault? How is?" "Sit down, Aurora." "I'm fine standing." "Sit down." There's something in his voice that makes every instinct I have scream at me to obey. My knees buckle, and I sink into the chair behind me without meaning to. Cole runs a hand through his hair, destroying its perfect styling. For the first time since I've known him, he looks uncertain. "What I'm about to tell you is going to sound impossible," he says. "But I need you to listen. Really listen before you run." "I'm not going anywhere." The words come out more forcefully than I intended. "Good." He moves to his desk, pressing a button. "Helen, hold my calls." Then he comes back to stand in front of me, and I see him take a deep breath, as if bracing himself. "Werewolves are real, Aurora." I blink. "Excuse me." "Shapeshifters. Pack animals. We live among humans, but we're not human." His eyes meet mine, and I see no deception there, only raw honesty. "I'm the alpha of the largest pack in the Pacific Northwest." I stand up so fast the chair spins behind me. "You're insane." The heightened senses, the restlessness, the dreams. His voice is calm, matter of fact. The way you can smell things you never noticed before. Hear conversations from blocks away. I freeze. I haven't told anyone about the dreams, about hearing things I shouldn't be able to hear. "How do you know about that?" "Because it's happening to you." The change. He takes a step closer, and I back up until I hit his desk. "When we were together Friday night, something happened. A bond was formed. A bond. A mate bond. He struggles with the words. "It's how our kind recognizes our other half. Our perfect match. And once it's triggered, it changes both parties." "Both parties," I repeat numbly. "You're becoming like me, Aurora. Not fully. You'll never shift, never become a true werewolf. But the bond is awakening supernatural abilities in you." I laugh, but it comes out high and hysterical. "This is insane." "You're insane. Werewolves don't exist." "Don't they?" He moves with that liquid grace I noticed at the club, circling around me until he's between me and the door. "Explain the senses, then. Explain how you can smell my cologne from across the room. How you knew I was in the building before you saw me." I had known. The moment I'd stepped into the lobby, some part of me had known he was here, close by. There has to be a rational explanation. There is. I just gave it to you. "Prove it." The words slip out before I can stop them. Something dangerous flashes in his eyes. "Are you sure you want me to do that?" "No." "Yes." I don't know anymore, but I nod anyway. He steps back, giving himself space, and begins unbuttoning his shirt. "Don't scream," he says quietly. "And whatever you do, don't run. Running triggers the hunt instinct." Before I can ask what he means, his form begins to shimmer. It's subtle at first, like heat waves rising from summer pavement. Then his features start to elongate, his muscles expanding. I hear the sound of fabric tearing. And then there's a wolf standing in the middle of his office. Not a dog. Not a husky or German shepherd or any domestic breed. A massive coal-black wolf with amber eyes that are achingly familiar. He's easily the size of a small horse, with muscles that ripple beneath his dark fur. My knees give out, and I slide down the side of his desk to the floor. The wolf Cole approaches slowly, his massive head lowered in a non-threatening posture. When he reaches me, he sits, bringing us closer to eye level. Up close, I can see the intelligence in those amber eyes, the recognition. He's still in there, still Cole. Tentatively, I reach out a shaking hand. His fur is incredibly soft and warm, and when my fingers make contact, I feel that same electric connection from Friday night. "Oh my God," I whisper. He shifts back then, the transformation happening in reverse. Within moments, he's human again, pulling on spare clothes from a cabinet in his office. Apparently, this isn't the first time his transformations have destroyed his wardrobe. "And you're really—" I can't finish the sentence. "Really a werewolf." He's dressed now, watching me with worried eyes. "And you're really my mate." Mate. I test the word on my tongue. Like marriage, deeper than marriage. Souls recognizing their other half. It's not something we choose, Aurora. It just is. I struggle to my feet, my legs still unsteady. This is too much. I need air. "Don't run," he says urgently. "Please, let me explain everything." "Everything? You mean there's more? The pack, the politics, the reason why being mated to me might put you in danger." Danger. The word comes out sharp. What kind of danger? Before he can answer, there's a sharp knock on his office door. Helen's voice comes through the intercom. "Mr. Hastings, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Marcus Webb is here. He says it's urgent." Cole and I look at each other, and I see something like fear flash across his features. "Send him in," Cole says. The door opens, and Marcus steps inside. He takes one look at us, me disheveled and shaky, Cole still putting himself back together. And his nostrils flare. "You told her," Marcus says. "It's not a question." "Marcus, do you have any idea what you've done?" Marcus's voice is tight with anger. "She's completely unprotected. If the Blackwood pack finds out—" "They won't," Cole says firmly. "Won't they?" Marcus turns to me, and I see something wild in his eyes that wasn't there during our interview. "You're emanating alpha scent like a beacon, Aurora. Every supernatural in the city is going to know you're claimed by the end of the day." "I don't understand," I say weakly. "It means," Marcus says grimly, "that Cole just painted a target on your back, and some very dangerous people are going to want to use you to get to him." Chapter 4. The blood drains from Cole's face. In one fluid motion, he's across the room, pressing the intercom button. "Helen, activate Building Security Protocol 7. Now." "Yes, sir." I don't know what Protocol 7 means, but the way Marcus's expression hardens tells me it's serious. How did they find out so fast? Marcus demands. "It doesn't matter." Cole moves to a cabinet I hadn't noticed before. When he opens it, I see it's not a cabinet at all. It's an armory. Guns, knives, and weapons I don't recognize line the interior. What matters is getting Aurora out of here safely. Getting me out. I find my voice, though it comes out higher than usual. "What about getting you out? This is your building, your territory." "It doesn't work that way," Marcus says grimly. "The Blackwood pack doesn't respect territorial boundaries when they want something." "And what do they want?" Cole and Marcus exchange a look that makes my stomach clench. "You," Cole says quietly. "They want you." "Me? But I don't even understand what's happening. I just found out werewolves exist 5 minutes ago. That doesn't matter to them." Cole straps a gun to his ankle, another to his shoulder holster. "You're unmated to their alpha, which makes you incredibly valuable." "Unmated? But you said—" "The bond is there, but it's not complete." His amber eyes meet mine, and I see regret there. "We haven't gone through the claiming ceremony. Technically, you're still available." The word hits me like a slap. Available. Helen's voice comes through the intercom again, more strained this time. "Mr. Hastings, they're asking for permission to come up. They're being insistent." Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I can see black SUVs pulling up to the building. Men in dark suits are positioned at various points around the perimeter. It looks like a military operation. Who exactly are the Blackwoods? I ask. Cole's biggest rival, Marcus explains. Their alpha, Vincent Blackwood, has been trying to absorb smaller packs into his territory for years. Taking Cole's mate would be the ultimate power play. But I'm not his mate. Not really. It doesn't matter, Cole says, checking his weapons with practiced efficiency. The bond was triggered. Your scent is already changing to match mine. Any supernatural who gets close enough will know you belong to me. I don't belong to anyone. The look he gives me is pure predator. Yes, you do. Whether you accept it or not, whether we complete the ceremony or not, you're mine. And I protect what's mine. There's something in his voice, something primal and possessive, that should terrify me. Instead, it sends heat spiraling through my body. Helen's voice interrupts the moment. Sir, they're on their way up. I couldn't stop them. Shit. Cole moves to his desk, pressing a hidden panel. A section of the wall slides away, revealing a private elevator. Aurora, we need to go. Now. Wait. I dig my heels in. I'm not running anywhere until someone explains what will happen if I stay and meet these Blackwood people. Aurora. Answer me, Cole. What's the worst-case scenario? He stops, his hand on the elevator button, and the look he gives me is filled with anguish. The worst case. Vincent challenges me for the right to claim you. If he wins, you become his mate instead of mine. And if you win? If I win, the challenge proves our bond, and you're protected under pack law. But Aurora, his voice drops to a whisper. Vincent has never lost a challenge. He's older, more experienced, and completely ruthless. So you'd rather run. I'd rather keep you alive. The elevator in the main hallway dings, and we all freeze. Heavy footsteps echo down the corridor, accompanied by voices too low for me to make out, though I suspect Cole and Marcus can hear every word. There's another option, Marcus says suddenly. No. Cole's response is immediate and fierce. What option? I look between them. Marcus meets my eyes. You could reject the bond, refuse to complete the mating ceremony. It would break the connection, make you off limits to all supernatural claims. That would work, I ask. Sophia, no. It would mean freedom, I say. It would mean going back to my normal life. There is no going back. His hands frame my face, forcing me to meet his eyes. The bond is already too strong. Rejecting it now would be agony for both of us. And you'd never be fully human again. You'd be caught between worlds, belonging to neither. The footsteps stop outside the office door. A voice, cultured and cold, speaks loudly enough for us to hear. Mr. Hastings, I believe you have something that belongs to me. Vincent, Cole breathes. Open the door, Cole. Let's discuss this like civilized beings. I look at the private elevator, then at the office door, then at Cole's face. In his eyes, I see fear, not for himself, but for me. The powerful alpha who commands a pack, who owns half the city, is terrified of what might happen to me. And suddenly I'm furious. No, I say. Aurora, no. I step away from him, toward the office door. I won't run, and I won't reject anything. Not until I understand exactly what I'm choosing between. You don't know what you're doing. You're right. I don't. But I'm tired of other people making decisions for me. I think of the eviction notice, of all the job rejections, of Riley working double shifts while I struggle to keep my head above water. For once in my life, I want to make my own choice, even if it's the wrong one. I reach for the door handle. Aurora, don't. But I'm already turning the handle, pulling the door open. 3 men stand in the hallway, and even to my newly enhanced senses, they radiate danger. The one in the center is tall and lean, with silver-streaked dark hair and pale blue eyes that seem to see straight through me. He's handsome in a cold, aristocratic way, but there's something reptilian about his smile. Vincent Blackwood, he says, inclining his head slightly. And you must be the lovely Aurora. How do you know my name? I make it my business to know everything. About my territory. His gaze slides past me to Cole, who's appeared at my shoulder. Though I wasn't aware Cole had finally found his mate. Congratulations. She's under my protection, Cole says, his voice carefully controlled. Is she? Vincent's smile widens. How wonderful. I don't suppose you'd be willing to share. The question hangs in the air like a threat. Over my dead body, Cole replies. That can be arranged. Vincent's tone is conversational, as if he's discussing the weather. Though I was hoping we could resolve this more amicably. What do you want, Vincent? What I've always wanted. Your pack, your territory, your submission. His pale eyes fix on me again. Though I admit, I didn't expect such a lovely bonus. I'm not a bonus, I say, surprised by the steadiness of my own voice. I'm a person. Indeed you are. Vincent takes a step closer, and I catch his scent, cold, metallic, like winter steel. A very special person, it seems. Tell me, my dear, has Cole explained pack law to you? Some of it. Then you know that an unmated alpha's claim can be challenged by any other alpha who wishes to compete for the privilege. My blood turns to ice. Compete how? Single combat. Vincent's smile turns predatory. Winner takes all. I look back at Cole, and the resignation in his face tells me everything I need to know. When? I whisper. Now, Vincent says. Unless, of course, Cole would prefer to simply step aside and let me claim what should be mine. The silence stretches between them, charged with testosterone and threat. I can feel Cole's wolf pressing against his human skin, can sense Marcus tensing for a fight. And then I do something that surprises everyone, including myself. I laugh. The sound bubbles up from my chest, feeling foreign, dangerous. It's not the hysterical giggle from earlier. This is something deeper, darker, touched with a power I don't understand. You're both idiots, I say, my voice cutting through the supernatural tension like a blade. Standing here talking about claiming me like I'm a prize to be won. But you're forgetting something important. The air around me begins to shimmer, and I feel energy crackling beneath my skin. Vincent's pale eyes narrow, and behind me I hear Cole's sharp intake of breath. Maybe I don't want to be claimed by either of you. The temperature in the hallway drops 10 degrees. Frost begins forming on the windows, and the fluorescent lights flicker overhead. Every supernatural present, Vincent, his two companions, Cole, Marcus, takes an instinctive step backward. What the hell? One of Vincent's men starts to say. Impossible, Vincent breathes, his aristocratic composure finally cracking. She's human. No, Marcus says quietly from behind me. She's not. The power surging through me feels like lightning in my veins, like I could reach out and reshape reality with my bare hands. It's exhilarating and terrifying, and I have absolutely no idea how to control it. Aurora. Cole's voice is careful, the tone you'd use to approach a wounded animal. I need you to breathe. Whatever this is, you need to pull it back. Pull it back. But even as I ask, I can feel it. The energy radiating out from me in waves, making the air itself feel electric. You're manifesting magic, Marcus says, and there's something like awe in his voice. Actual magic. That's impossible. Humans don't have magic. The mate bond can enhance existing abilities, but it can't create them from nothing. Unless she was never fully human to begin with, Cole murmurs. Their words wash over me, but I'm barely listening. The power is growing stronger, harder to contain. I can feel it pressing against my skin from the inside, demanding release. The lights in the hallway strobe, and somewhere in the building, I hear the distant sound of shattering glass. Aurora, you need to stop, Cole says urgently. The building's structural integrity. I don't know how. The admission bursts out of me, and with it comes another surge of energy that sends papers flying down the hallway and makes the floor beneath our feet tremble. Vincent's companions have shifted into defensive positions, hands moving to concealed weapons. But Vincent himself is studying me with newfound interest, like a scientist examining a fascinating specimen. Remarkable, he murmurs. I've never seen anything like this. Neither have I, Marcus admits. Cole, we need to get her somewhere safe before. His words are cut off by a sound that chills my blood, a long, mournful howl echoing from somewhere far below us. Then another and another. The pack, Cole says grimly. They're responding to the magical disturbance. Both packs, Vincent corrects, and for the first time since he arrived, he looks genuinely concerned. My wolves are howling too. More howls join the chorus, closer now. The primitive, haunting sound seems to resonate in my bones, and the power inside me responds, surging higher. We need to move, Marcus says. Now, before every supernatural in the city comes to investigate. The safe house, Cole agrees. Aurora, can you walk? I take a tentative step, and the floor beneath my feet cracks. I don't think that's a good idea. Then we'll carry you, he says simply. No one is carrying me anywhere. I force myself to focus, to pull the energy back inside. It fights me, but slowly, gradually, the temperature in the hallway begins to return to normal. Impressive control, Vincent says, and there's something calculating in his expression. Tell me, Aurora, do you have any idea how rare that is? How powerful you could become with the right training? Vincent. Cole's voice carries a warning. Oh, I don't think so. Vincent's cold smile returns. The situation has changed considerably. This isn't just about pack politics anymore. What do you mean? I mean, Vincent says, taking a step closer despite the energy still crackling around me, that someone with your abilities doesn't belong with just any alpha. You need someone who can teach you, guide you, help you reach your full potential. And you think that's you? I can't keep the skepticism out of my voice. I know it is. Cole is powerful, yes. But he's never dealt with magic like this. I have. My pack includes witches, seers, beings who understand the supernatural world in ways his pack never will. Cole moves to place himself between Vincent and me. She's not interested. Why don't we let her decide? Vincent's pale eyes meet mine over Cole's shoulder. What do you say, my dear? Wouldn't you like to understand what you're capable of? The offer is tempting, more tempting than I want to admit. The power inside me is unlike anything I've ever experienced, and the idea of learning to control it, to understand it, calls to something deep in my soul. But then I look at Cole, at the tension in his shoulders, the way his hands are clenched into fists. I remember the way he held me Friday night, the desperate honesty in his voice when he revealed what he was. I appreciate the offer, I tell Vincent, but I'll figure it out on my own. Vincent's expression darkens. That would be unwise. Magic like yours, untrained and uncontrolled, is dangerous to you and everyone around you. Is that a threat? It's a fact. His voice hardens. You've already caused structural damage to this building. What happens when you lose control in a crowded restaurant or on a busy street? His words hit home because I can feel the truth in them. The power inside me is vast and unpredictable, and I have no idea how to contain it. I'll help her, Cole says firmly. With what expertise? Vincent laughs, but there's no humor in it. You're a shapeshifter, Cole. Your magic is tied to the moon, to pack bonds, to the physical world. What she's manifesting is something else entirely. Then we'll find someone who can help. You could, Vincent agrees. Or you could simply let me take care of the problem. The words send ice through my veins. Take care of the problem? You're young, inexperienced, and extremely powerful, Vincent explains, his tone almost gentle. In the supernatural world, that combination is often short-lived. Another threat. An observation. Magic like yours attracts attention, Aurora. Not all of it friendly. Beings who would use you, control you, or simply eliminate you before you become too powerful to handle. Like you're trying to do. I'm trying to protect you, Vincent says, and he almost sounds sincere. Join my pack. Let me teach you. Accept my claim, and I'll make sure you're safe. Over my dead body, Cole snarls. That can still be arranged, Vincent replies smoothly. The power inside me surges again, responding to the threat in his voice. The lights flicker, and I feel the floor vibrate beneath our feet. Stop, I say, and my voice carries an authority I didn't know I possessed. Both of you just stop. They both turn to look at me, and I see something like surprise in their expressions. Behind the surprise, though, I catch a glimpse of something else. Submission, like they want to obey me. This is insane, I continue, pushing down the part of me that's thrilled by their response. You're talking about fighting over me, claiming me, like I don't get a say in my own life. Well, here's my say. I don't want either of you. Vincent's eyebrows rise. Excuse me. You heard me. Cole, you're possessive and controlling. You've known me for 4 days, and you're already talking about protecting what's yours. And Vincent, you're cold and calculating, and you've made it clear you see me as a useful tool, not a person. Aurora, Cole starts. I'm not finished. The power in my voice grows stronger, and both men actually take a step back. I don't know what I am or what this magic means, but I know what I'm not. I'm not a prize to be won, or a weapon to be wielded, or a problem to be solved. I take a deep breath, pulling the energy back under control. I'm going home. I'm going to figure this out on my own terms. And if either of you tries to stop me or follow me, you'll find out exactly what this untrained magic can do. The hallway falls silent except for the distant sound of howling, which has grown closer and more urgent. That would be extremely foolish, Vincent says finally. Maybe, but it'll be my choice. I turn toward the elevator, but Cole's voice stops me. The pack wars, Aurora. They won't stop just because you want to opt out. Vincent challenged me for you. That challenge stands whether you're here or not. I turn back slowly. What do you mean? I mean, Vincent says with satisfaction, That Cole and I will fight regardless. The winner gets the right to claim you, whether you agree or not. But if I'm not here, the supernatural world doesn't work that way, Marcus says quietly. Once a claim is challenged, it has to be resolved. Running won't change that. I look between them all, feeling trapped. When? Sunset tomorrow, Vincent says. The old amphitheater in Forest Park. Pack law demands neutral ground and witnesses. And if Cole wins, then you're his, willing or not, Vincent replies. There has to be another way, I say desperately. There is, Marcus says quietly. But you're not going to like it. Chapter 5. The only way to stop the challenge, Marcus continues, his voice heavy with reluctance, is if you're already claimed. Fully claimed, with the mating bond completed and witnessed. But Aurora, he meets my eyes with something like pity. Once that happens, there's no going back. You'd be bound to Cole for life, and the magic growing inside you would be tied to his pack forever. You'd never be human again. The words hit me like physical blows. Never be human again. Bound for life. What exactly does fully claimed mean? I ask, though I'm not sure I want to know the answer. Vincent's cold smile returns. It means, my dear, that you and Cole would have to complete the mating ritual. Blood, bite, and bond. In front of witnesses from both packs. Blood. My voice comes out as a whisper. The alpha marks his mate, Cole explains, and there's something almost apologetic in his tone. With teeth, with scent, with other methods. It's permanent, irreversible. You mean he bites me? Among other things, Vincent says with obvious amusement. The claiming is quite intensive, physical, primal. Once it's done, every supernatural being will know you belong to him. Heat floods my cheeks, but I force myself to meet Cole's eyes. And you're okay with this? Forcing me into some kind of supernatural marriage just to win a pissing contest. It's not about winning, Cole says fiercely. It's about keeping you alive. Vincent doesn't just want to claim you, Aurora. He wants to use you. And you don't. And you don't. The question hangs in the air between us, and I see something flicker across Cole's features. Hurt, maybe, or uncertainty. I want to protect you, he says finally. That's not what I asked. Before Cole can respond, Vincent claps his hands together. How delightfully dramatic. But I'm afraid we don't have time for relationship counseling. The challenge is set. The packs are gathering. And you have less than 24 hours to decide. Decide what? Whether to give up my humanity or watch two men fight over me like I'm a piece of property. Essentially, yes. Vincent's tone is matter of fact. Though I should mention that if you choose the claiming route, you'll need to do it soon. The longer you wait, the more difficult the process becomes. Difficult how? The magic you're manifesting, Marcus explains. It's growing stronger by the hour. If you wait too long to complete the bond, your power might overwhelm the ritual entirely. And then what happens? The three men exchange glances, and I don't like what I see in their expressions. Then the magic tears you apart from the inside, Cole says quietly, and probably takes half the city with you. My knees buckle, and I slide down the wall to sit on the floor. The weight of it all, the impossible choices, the supernatural politics, the power I can't control, crushes down on me like a physical force. I need air, I manage. I need to think. Aurora. No. I struggle to my feet, steadying myself against the wall. I need space. All of you, just leave me alone for 5 minutes. That's not safe, Cole protests. Your magic is still unstable. Then I guess you better hope I don't lose control. The words come out sharper than I intended, but I don't care. I'm tired of being managed, tired of having decisions made for me. I turn and walk toward Cole's office, ignoring the protests behind me. Once inside, I close the door and lean against it, taking deep breaths. The office still smells like him, that woodsy, wild scent that makes my pulse quicken. I close my eyes and try to think rationally about my options. Option 1. Let Cole and Vincent fight tomorrow. If Cole wins, I'm still claimed, but without my consent. If Vincent wins, I shudder to think what that would mean. Option 2. Complete the mating bond with Cole now. Give up my humanity, my independence, my choice in the matter, but stay alive and stop the war. Option 3, run. Leave the city, try to disappear. But Marcus said the challenge would happen regardless. And Vincent made it clear that my untrained magic makes me a danger to everyone around me. None of them are good choices. All of them involve giving up the life I've built, the person I've been. A soft knock on the door interrupts my thoughts. Aurora, it's Marcus. Can I come in? I consider ignoring him, but something in his tone makes me open the door. He steps inside and closes it behind him, giving us privacy. You're scared, he observes. Terrified, I correct. This morning I was worried about paying rent. Now I'm apparently some kind of magical being who has to choose between supernatural slavery and watching people die. It's not slavery, Marcus says gently. The mate bond, it's not what Vincent made it sound like. Isn't it? Bound for life, marked permanently, tied to his pack forever. Those are the facts, yes. But they're not the whole truth. Marcus moves to the window, looking out at the city below. I've known Cole for 15 years. I've never seen him look at anyone the way he looks at you. We've known each other for 4 days. Time doesn't matter with the mate bond. It's about souls recognizing each other. He turns back to me. Do you feel it when you're near him? I don't want to answer, but the truth is written all over my face. That connection you feel, Marcus continues, it goes both ways. If you complete the bond, yes, you'll be tied to him. But he'll be just as tied to you. Your happiness, your safety, your choices, they'll matter to him more than his own life. And the magic will be stronger, more controlled. Pack magic is stable, grounded. It might be exactly what you need to keep from destroying yourself. I sink into one of the chairs facing Cole's desk. Why are you telling me this? I thought you worked for him. I do, but I also care about both of you. Marcus sits across from me. Cole is terrified he's going to lose you, either to Vincent or to your own power. He's not thinking clearly. Someone needs to make sure you understand all your options. All my options involve giving up who I am. Do they? Marcus leans forward. Or do they involve becoming who you're meant to be? Before I can respond, the door opens and Cole steps inside. His hair is disheveled, and there's something wild in his amber eyes. Vincent's gone, he announces. But he left a message. The challenge has been moved up, 6 hours from now, not tomorrow at sunset. Why? I ask. Because other packs are coming. Word is spreading about your magic, and everyone wants to see what happens. If we don't resolve this tonight, we could have a dozen alphas showing up to stake claims. The room spins around me. A dozen. The supernatural world has been waiting centuries for someone like you, Marcus explains. Untrained magic of this magnitude. You're either going to be the most powerful ally or the most dangerous enemy anyone has ever seen. I don't want to be either, I whisper. Cole crosses the room and kneels in front of my chair, taking my hands in his. The moment our skin touches, I feel that electric connection, stronger now than ever before. I know, he says softly. I know this isn't fair, isn't what you wanted. But Aurora, I need you to understand something. His thumbs trace across my knuckles, and I can see the vulnerability in his expression. The mate bond isn't about ownership, he continues. It's about partnership, equal partnership. If you agree to complete the claiming, you won't just be my mate. I'll be yours. Your needs, your desires, your happiness will be as important to my wolf as my own. And if I can't handle it, if I change my mind, then we'll figure it out together. His amber eyes meet mine. I won't lie to you. The bond is permanent. But that doesn't mean you lose your voice, your choices, your independence. You'll still be you, Aurora. Just more. The sincerity in his voice makes my chest ache. I want to believe him, want to trust that this impossible situation could somehow work out. What does the claiming involve? I ask quietly. Cole's cheeks flush slightly. Physical intimacy. The bite here. He touches the side of my neck where it meets my shoulder. Blood exchange. And witnesses to make it official under pack law. Witnesses. I repeat, mortified. They won't see everything, he assures me quickly. Just enough to confirm the bond is complete. I look between him and Marcus, these two men who've turned my world upside down in a matter of hours. Outside, I can hear the distant sound of howling again. More packs arriving, drawn by the promise of conflict and power. How long do I have to decide? 4 hours, Cole says. Maybe less, depending on how quickly the other alphas arrive. 4 hours to choose between my humanity and my life. 4 hours to decide whether to trust a man I barely know with my future, my body, my soul. I close my eyes and try to imagine what my life would look like in either scenario. Claimed by Cole, tied to his pack, learning to control magic I don't understand. Or free but hunted, powerful but dangerous, alone in a world that suddenly sees me as either an asset or a threat. When I open my eyes, both men are watching me with expressions of carefully controlled hope and fear. If I agree, I say slowly, I want something in return. Cole's eyes sharpen. Name it. My sister, Riley. My mom. They get protected too, not just from supernatural threats, but from everything. Financial security, medical care, safety. Done, Cole says immediately. And I want to understand the magic. Not just how to control it, but what it is, where it comes from. I want answers. We'll find them, he promises. I take a deep breath, feeling the weight of the decision settling over me like a cloak. Okay, I whisper. Cole's face transforms with relief and something that looks like joy. Okay, I'll do it. I'll complete the mating bond. The words feel surreal coming out of my mouth. But as Cole pulls me into his arms, as I feel the rightness of being close to him, I know I've made my choice. But Cole, I pull back to meet his eyes. After tonight, we figure out how to make this work. Really work. Because if I'm giving up my old life, I want our new one to be worth it. His smile is radiant. It will be. I promise. But beautiful soul, if you're feeling the pull of this journey, if Aurora's transformation is stirring something in your own heart, then subscribe now. Because what's coming next will test everything she's learned. The claiming ceremony awaits, and forces darker than you can imagine are gathering at the edges of this story. Ancient powers, deadly challenges, and a love that will reshape the supernatural world itself. Hit that subscribe button, and let's walk together into the fire that's about to consume everything Aurora thought she knew. Chapter 6. The claiming ceremony happens in Cole's penthouse, in a room I hadn't seen before. A private space with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city and ancient symbols carved into the wooden floor. Pack members line the walls, their eyes glowing in the dim light. I recognize Marcus among them, and Helen, and dozens of others I've never met. All of them watching, waiting to witness our bond. Vincent Blackwood stands in one corner with his own representatives, his pale eyes fixed on me with cold calculation. Pack law demanded he be invited as a witness. The challenger has the right to see the claiming he's being denied. I'm wearing a simple white dress that someone, Helen, I think, left for me. It's traditional, apparently, for the mate to wear white during the ceremony. Cole is beside me in dark pants and a shirt, his amber eyes never leaving my face. Are you ready? He asks softly. No. Yes. I don't know anymore. But I nod. An elderly woman steps forward. The pack's eldest, Marcus had explained. She's the one who will officiate, who will confirm the bond once it's complete. We gather tonight, she begins, her voice carrying through the room, to witness the claiming of Aurora Blake by Alpha Cole Hastings. Let any who would challenge this bond speak now, or forever hold their peace. Silence. Even Vincent remains quiet, though his expression is dark with barely suppressed rage. Then let the claiming begin. Cole turns to me, and I see the hunger in his eyes. Not just physical, but something deeper, more primal. His wolf is close to the surface, pressing against his human skin. I claim you, he says, his voice resonating with power. Body, soul, and magic. From this moment until the end of time, you are mine as I am yours. His hands frame my face, and he kisses me, not gentle but possessive, claiming. I feel the bond between us flare to life, silver and gold energy spiraling together. When he pulls back, his eyes are glowing amber. Your turn. My voice shakes slightly as I repeat the words. I claim you, body, soul, and magic. From this moment until the end of time, you are mine as I am yours. The energy between us intensifies, and I feel something shifting deep inside me. The magic recognizing the bond, accepting it, amplifying it. The bite, the elder says. Cole's eyes meet mine one last time, asking silent permission. I tilt my head, exposing my neck, and feel his lips press against my skin. Then his teeth, sharp, almost painful, pierce the flesh where my neck meets my shoulder. I gasp at the sensation. Pain and pleasure mix so intensely I can't separate them. Power floods through me, his pack magic rushing in to meet my wild energy. The two forces collide, and for a moment I'm terrified they'll tear me apart. But instead they merge. Silver and gold become something new, a hybrid magic that's neither his nor mine, but ours. Cole pulls back, blood on his lips, and I see wonder in his expression. Your turn, he says again, offering his own neck. I've never bitten anyone in my life. But instinct guides me, and when my teeth, sharper than they should be. Pierce his skin. When I taste his blood and feel his power flowing into me, the bond snaps into place with the force of a lightning strike. The room erupts in silver-gold light. Every window shatters. The ancient symbols carved into the floor blaze with power. And in that moment, Aurora Blake ceases to exist as I was. I'm something new now. Something the supernatural world has never seen before. When the light fades, Cole and I are still standing, wrapped in each other's arms. But we're changed. I can feel it in every cell of my body. His pack magic flows through me as naturally as my own heartbeat, while my wild power courses through him like liquid starlight. What have you done? Vincent's voice cuts through the odd silence. That's not a mate bond. That's a convergence. You've created something that was never meant to exist. I can feel exactly what he means. The connection between Cole and me isn't just emotional or physical. It's magical, fundamental. We've become two halves of the same supernatural force. Impossible. One of the pack elders breathes. The energies should have canceled each other out. They're not canceling, Marcus says, his voice filled with wonder. They're harmonizing. He's right. Instead of the chaotic, destructive power I've been struggling to control, the magic now feels balanced, purposeful. I can sense every member of Cole's pack scattered throughout the city, can feel their loyalty and strength flowing through the bond like a river of gold. At the same time, I'm connected to something vast and ancient, forces that govern life and death themselves. How do you feel? Cole asks softly. Like myself, I say, surprised by the truth of it. But more, like I finally understand what I was meant to be. And what's that? I look around at the assembled supernaturals. The pack members who followed Cole into danger. Marcus, who's been trying to protect both of us. Even Vincent with his territorial ambitions. A bridge, I realize, between the old magic and the new. Between the supernatural world and the human one. Vincent takes a step forward, and I can hear the fear beneath his anger. You're still outnumbered. Still facing creatures that feed on magic itself. Are we? Cole steps forward, and the movement is pure predator. But there's something else now, something that makes even Vincent shift uneasily. Cole extends his hand toward Vincent, and silver-gold energy flows from his palm. But instead of the harsh, chaotic magic I've been manifesting, this is controlled, precise, devastating. Vincent's eyes widen. You can't. The convergence makes us immune. I say, understanding flooding through me. Your challenges, your pack politics, your territorial disputes, none of it applies to us anymore. Impossible, Vincent breathes. Not impossible, Cole says. Just new. The pack members are backing away now, their instincts recognizing something that defies everything they thought they knew about supernatural hierarchy. We're not your enemies, I say, my voice carrying authority I didn't know I possessed. But we won't be your pawns either. The supernatural world is changing, and you can either adapt or be left behind. Vincent stares at us for a long moment, then nods slowly. Very well. You've proven that you cannot be easily eliminated or controlled. But this is far from over. There are other powers, older, more dangerous, who won't be as accommodating. Let them come, Cole says, echoing my words from earlier. Vincent and his representatives fade into the shadows, leaving us alone with Cole's pack. The pack elder steps forward, studying us with ancient eyes. I have lived for 3 centuries, she says quietly. I have seen empires rise and fall, watched the supernatural world evolve and adapt. But I have never seen anything like this. You have created something unprecedented, a convergence that could reshape everything we know about magic and bonds. Is that a good thing? I ask. That, she says with a slight smile, remains to be seen. As the pack members begin to disperse, Cole pulls me close. Through our bond, I feel his relief, his joy, his absolute certainty that we made the right choice. No regrets, he asks. I think about my old life, the studio apartment, the constant struggle, the isolation. Then I think about what I have now, a mate who would die for me, a pack that's become family, power I'm only beginning to understand. None, I say truthfully. Only that it took so long to find you. The mate bond pulses between us, warm and steady and eternal. And for the first time since this all began, I know exactly where I belong. Chapter 7. 3 days after the convergence, I wake up in Cole's penthouse feeling more rested than I have in weeks. The chaotic magic that once threatened to tear me apart has settled into something controllable, purposeful. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I can see the city spread out below us. Our city now, our responsibility. The mate bond hums between us like a living thing, and I can feel Cole's contentment even though he's in his office 3 floors down, handling packed business. My phone buzzes with a text from Riley. Mom is awake and asking for you. The doctors say it's miraculous. I smile. Yesterday, we'd finally been able to afford the treatment Mom needed, thanks to Cole's resources. More than that, we'd been able to give her real care, not just the bare minimum. On my way, I text back. As I'm getting dressed, the temperature in the room suddenly plummets. My breath mists in the air, and frost begins forming on the windows. Through the bond, I feel Cole's alarm, then his footsteps as he races toward our apartment. Aurora, his voice carries up the stairwell, tight with worry. But I'm already moving toward the living room, where 3 figures have materialized in the center of the space. They stand in a perfect triangle, each radiating power that makes my newly awakened senses recoil. The woman in the center wears a midnight blue cloak, her eyes bright as stars. Aurora Blake, she says, and her voice carries harmonics that seem to come from the spaces between worlds. I am Counselor Astrid of the Ancient Tribunal. You will come with us. I will do no such thing, I reply, silver gold magic beginning to flow around me like protective armor. This is not a request. Cole bursts through the apartment door, still partially shifted, his claws extended and canines bared. But the moment he sees the 3 figures, he stops short. Counselors, he says, and there's recognition in his voice. I should have known you'd come. Alpha Hastings. The woman, Astrid, inclines her head slightly. Your pack's allegiance to the old ways has been noted. It will be taken into consideration during the judgment. What judgment? I demand. Yours, says the figure to Astrid's left, a tall man whose skin seems to be made of living shadow. The convergence you have created threatens the natural order. It must be examined, evaluated, and if necessary, eliminated. Through the bond, I feel Cole's protective instincts surge. Eliminated. The word comes out flat. The Council of Ancients has governed supernatural evolution for millennia, Astrid explains with cold patience. We determine which magical developments are beneficial to the greater community and which represent existential threats. Your convergence falls into the latter category. According to who? According to the fundamental laws of magical interaction. The 3rd counselor speaks for the first time, appearing to be made of crystallized light. Pack magic and wild magic were separated for good reason. The combination creates unpredictable variables. Unpredictable how? Reality distortions. Temporal anomalies. The breakdown of barriers between worlds. Astrid moves closer, and the temperature drops even further. The convergence gives you power over forces that should remain separate. Left unchecked, you could accidentally tear holes in the fabric of existence itself. That's ridiculous, I protest. But even as I say it, I remember the office building warping around us, the way reality had bent when my power peaked. Is it? The shadow counselor gestures, and suddenly the air fills with images. Visions of other magical convergences throughout history. Cities consumed by magical fire. Entire populations twisted into unrecognizable forms. Reality itself fracturing like broken glass. Every previous convergence has ended in catastrophe, Astrid says. Without exception. But this one is different, Cole argues, moving to stand beside me. Aurora isn't some power-mad sorcerer trying to reshape the world. She's trying to protect it. Intentions are irrelevant, the light counselor replies. Power of this magnitude cannot be controlled indefinitely. Eventually, emotion or circumstance will cause her to lose restraint, and the results will be devastating. So what are you proposing? I ask, though I suspect I already know the answer. Separation, Astrid says simply. We will sever the convergence, returning you to your individual magical states. The mate bond will be broken, the hybrid magic will be eliminated, and both of you will be free to live normal supernatural lives. And if we refuse, then we will eliminate the threat by eliminating you. The casual way she says it, like she's discussing the weather, sends ice through my veins. These beings are older than civilization, more powerful than anything I've encountered, and they're talking about killing me like it's a minor administrative task. There has to be another way, Cole says desperately. There is, the shadow counselor admits. Willing submission to our authority. Allow us to place binding spells on your convergence magic, limiting its scope and power. Accept permanent oversight from council representatives. Essentially, become our weapons instead of independent agents. Slavery, I say flatly. Controlled existence, Astrid corrects. You would live. Your bond would remain intact. But your magic would serve our purposes rather than your own. I look around the apartment at the life Cole and I have been building together. At the city spread out below us that we've promised to protect. At the future we've been planning. All of it threatened by beings who see us as nothing more than a potential problem to be solved. How long do we have to decide? Cole asks. Now, Astrid replies. The convergence grows stronger with each passing day. Delay only increases the eventual danger. Through our bond, I feel Cole's thoughts as clearly as my own. He's calculating distances, planning attacks, trying to figure out if there's any way we can fight our way out of this. But the power radiating from the 3 counselors is overwhelming, older and colder than anything we've faced. If we agree to the binding, I say slowly, what exactly would we be allowed to do? Maintain order within your designated territory, the Light Counselor explains. Prevent supernatural conflicts that might expose our world to human scrutiny. Eliminate rogue elements that threaten the balance. Under whose definition of rogue? Ours, of course. It's not really a choice at all. Accept slavery or die. Live as puppets or be eliminated as threats. But as I consider the options, I remember something one of Vincent's companions said. The convergence is not just a new type of bond. It's a new form of existence. You're afraid, I realize suddenly. Astrid's star-bright eyes narrow. Explain. You're not here because we're dangerous to the world. You're here because we're dangerous to you. The understanding flows through me like liquid fire. The convergence doesn't just combine pack magic and wild magic. It creates something that doesn't answer to the council's authority. Ridiculous, the shadow counselor snaps. But I can see the truth in the way they position themselves, in the subtle tension that suggests they're prepared for a fight. Is it? I step forward, and silver gold energy begins to flow around me. When's the last time you encountered a magical being you couldn't control or eliminate? When's the last time someone told you no and actually had the power to make it stick? Aurora, Cole warns, but I can feel his agreement through the bond. He sees it too, the fear hidden beneath their ancient authority. You've ruled the supernatural world for millennia because nothing has been powerful enough to challenge you. I continue. But the convergence changes that. We're something new, something that doesn't fit into your existing power structure. And that terrifies you. Because if we can exist outside your control, Cole adds, his own power beginning to manifest, others might try to do the same. Enough, Astrid commands, and the temperature in the room drops so low that ice begins forming on every surface. You will submit to our authority or face the consequences. No, I say simply. The word hangs in the air like a challenge, and I see all 3 counselors react with shock. Apparently, it's been a very long time since anyone has refused them so directly. You cannot win, the Light Counselor states. We are eternal. We are inevitable. Maybe, I agree. But we're going to try anyway. The battle that follows is unlike anything I could have imagined. The counselors attack with magic older than recorded history. Ice that burns, shadows that devour light, crystalline energy that cuts through reality itself. But Cole and I fight back with our convergence magic, silver gold power that adapts and evolves with each exchange. We're outmatched, outgunned, facing beings with millennia of experience. But we have something they don't expect. We have each other. Every spell they cast at me, Cole helps me deflect. Every attack directed at him, I help counter. Our magic flows between us like water, constantly shifting and changing, impossible for them to predict or overcome. Impossible, Astrid breathes as her ice spell melts against our combined defenses. No, I correct, raising my hand and sending a pulse of pure convergence energy toward her. Just new. The spell hits her square in the chest, and for the first time in millennia, an ancient counselor staggers backward. We are not your subjects, Cole declares, his voice carrying the authority of both Alpha and something far more powerful. We do not answer to your outdated laws. The supernatural world is changing, I add, feeling the truth of it resonate through our bond. And you can either adapt to that change or be left behind. The 3 counselors exchange looks that seem to carry entire conversations. Then Astrid nods slowly. Very well, she says. You have proven that you cannot be easily eliminated. But this is far from over. The council will be watching, waiting for you to make a mistake. We won't, I promise. Everyone makes mistakes eventually, she replies. And when you do, we will be there. They begin to fade, their forms becoming translucent. One final warning. Astrid's voice echoes as she disappears. Other powers will come. Beings who view your convergence as an opportunity rather than a threat. Choose your allies carefully, or you will find yourselves facing challenges that make our intervention seem benign. And then they're gone, leaving Cole and me alone in our frost-covered apartment. Well, Cole says after a long moment, that was terrifying. Exhilarating, I add. Completely insane. All of the above. He pulls me into his arms, and I feel his relief and pride through our bond. But we did it. We stood up to the Council of Ancients and lived to tell about it. For now, I point out, they'll be back. Let them come, he says, echoing my words from before. We'll face whatever comes together. Through the bond, I feel his absolute certainty, his unwavering commitment to our partnership. And I know with the same certainty that whatever challenges lie ahead, we'll meet them as we've met everything else, as one. Chapter 8. I wake up to the sound of rain against the windows and Cole's arm tightened protectively around my waist. Through our bond, I can feel his contentment even in sleep, a warm golden presence that's become as natural to me as breathing. The penthouse has been transformed since that first chaotic week. What was once a bachelor's modern space is now something warmer, more lived in. Riley's artwork covers one wall. Photos of our chosen family scattered across every surface. Books on supernatural law and magical theory compete for shelf space with Cole's business journals and my design portfolios. It's become home in a way I never thought possible. I slip out of bed carefully, not wanting to wake him. The city spreads out below our windows, peaceful in the pre-dawn hours. 6 months ago, I was facing eviction and desperately searching for work. Now I'm the co-leader of the most powerful supernatural alliance on the West Coast. The transformation still feels surreal sometimes. My phone buzzes with a text from Riley. Coffee meeting at 9 a.m. Mom wants to discuss wedding plans again. I smile, thinking about the woman who raised me. Fully recovered now, living in a comfortable apartment we helped her find, and absolutely determined to plan what she calls the supernatural wedding of the century. Never mind that Cole and I are already mated in every way that matters to our respective magical traditions. Tell her I'll be there, I text back. But if she brings up ice sculptures again, I'm using them for target practice. Another text comes immediately. She bought 3 bridal magazines yesterday. You've been warned. Before I can reply, strong arms wrap around me from behind, and I feel Cole's lips press against the claiming mark on my neck. Even after 6 months, the contact sends electricity racing through me. Good morning, he murmurs against my skin. Morning. Sorry I woke you. You didn't. Pack business. Through the bond, I feel his slight irritation at whatever message pulled him from sleep. 3 more packs have requested meetings about joining our alliance. 3 more? That makes 15 this month. 16, actually. Marcus confirmed the Portland pack yesterday. The alliance had been my idea. A loose confederation of supernatural groups committed to protecting both human and supernatural communities. What started as a necessity has grown into something larger. A new way of organizing supernatural society that doesn't rely on dominance and territorial conquest. Any problems? The usual concerns about convergence magic, questions about leadership structure, requests for demonstrations of power. His amber eyes meet mine. Nothing we can't handle. We've gotten good at handling skepticism. The supernatural world is slowly adapting to the idea that power doesn't have to corrupt, that strength can be used for protection rather than conquest. Speaking of demonstrations, I say, did you get Marcus's report about the Portland situation? Cole's expression grows serious. Handled. The rogue vampire coven has been disbanded, and the human authorities have been convinced it was a series of unfortunate accidents. Casualties. None on our side. 3 of the vampires chose exile over execution. His arms tighten around me. The Council of Ancients sent an observer. I'm not surprised. True to their word, the counselors have been watching us for months, waiting for us to make a mistake that would justify their intervention. So far, we've managed to avoid giving them that excuse. Did they try to interfere? No, just watched. Though Astrid did send a message afterward. What kind of message? Acceptable performance. Continue as you are. Cole's smile is wry. I think that's ancient council speak for grudging approval. Progress, I say with satisfaction. We've learned to take victories where we can find them. The supernatural world is changing, slowly, cautiously, but it is changing. More groups are choosing cooperation over conflict, protection over predation. It's not perfect. We still face challenges, still deal with rogues and traditionalists who prefer the old ways. But it's better than it was. Coffee? Cole asks, already knowing the answer. Please. And breakfast. Riley wants to discuss wedding plans again. His expression turns carefully neutral. How many bridesmaids is she insisting on now? 7. Plus a maid of honor, a flower girl, and something called a supernatural witness that she invented herself. Could be worse. She wants to invite the Council of Ancients. Cole chokes on his coffee. She what? Riley's theory is that if we're going to be supernatural royalty, we might as well act like it. She thinks a formal wedding invitation would be a gesture of diplomatic respect. Or a way to get us all killed. That too. We settle into our morning routine, coffee, news, checking in with pack members and alliance contacts scattered throughout the region. It's surprisingly domestic for two people who regularly face existential supernatural threats. My phone rings just as I'm finishing my second cup. The caller ID makes me smile. Hi, Mom. Aurora, darling, I've been thinking about the ceremony music. What are your thoughts on a supernatural gospel choir? I put the phone on speaker so Cole can hear, watching his expression shift from amusement to mild panic. Mom, we've talked about this. The ceremony doesn't need to be elaborate. Nonsense. You're only mated once. Well, most people are. And after everything you've been through, you deserve a celebration. She's not wrong. The claiming ceremony 6 months ago was conducted under emergency conditions, witnessed only by pack members and my family. A formal wedding would be a chance to celebrate not just our bond, but everything we've built since then. What does Cole think? Mom continues. That whatever makes Aurora happy is fine with me, he says diplomatically. Excellent. I'll put you down for midnight blue. It will complement Aurora's silver beautifully. What silver? I ask suspiciously. The dress, of course. I took the liberty of commissioning something special. A blend of traditional wedding gown and supernatural regalia. Very fitting for a Convergence couple. Through the bond, I feel Cole's barely contained laughter. Mom, trust me, darling. When you see it, you'll understand. Now I have to run. I'm meeting with a caterer who specializes in supernatural dietary requirements. Did you know werewolves need twice the protein of normal humans? She hangs up before I can respond, leaving Cole and me looking at each other across our kitchen table. Supernatural regalia? He asks. I'm afraid to find out. At least she's enthusiastic. That's what I'm worried about. My phone buzzes with a text from Marcus. Council observer requesting formal meeting. 2 p.m. today. Claims it's about future cooperation initiatives. Thoughts? I show the message to Cole, watching his expression grow thoughtful. Could be genuine, he says. Our success rate with alliance management has been impressive, even by their standards. Or it could be a trap. Also possible. But we've faced worse. He's right. 6 months ago, the idea of meeting with an ancient council representative would have terrified me. Now it's just another item on our calendar, another challenge to navigate together. Schedule it, I text back to Marcus. Conference room. Full security protocols. And make sure Riley's not in the building. Already on it. She's having lunch with your mom anyway. Wedding planning. They're conspiring, I tell Cole. Good. Keeps them busy and happy. He stands, moving to the windows that overlook our city. Are you ready for whatever the council wants to discuss? I join him at the window, looking out at the morning traffic, the humans going about their daily lives completely unaware of the supernatural community that protects them from the shadows. I'm ready for anything, I say. And through our bond, I feel his absolute agreement. We stand together in comfortable silence, watching the sun rise over Seattle. 6 months ago, I was alone, struggling, desperately trying to hold my life together. Now I'm part of something larger, a partnership, a pack, an alliance, a family that extends far beyond blood relations. No regrets, Cole asks quietly. I think about my old life, the studio apartment, the constant financial stress, the isolation of trying to handle everything alone. Then I think about what I have now, a mate who would die for me, a sister who's thriving in college, a mother who's healthy and happy, a supernatural community that looks to us for guidance and protection. None, I say truthfully. Only that it took so long to find you. The mate bond pulses between us, warm and steady and eternal. Whatever challenges lie ahead, council meetings, alliance negotiations, wedding planning, or threats we haven't even imagined yet, we'll face them the way we've faced everything else. Together. Outside our window, the city awakens to another day under our protection. And for the first time in my life, I know exactly where I belong. The council meeting at 2 p.m. is surprisingly straightforward. Astrid herself appears, or rather, a projection of her does, to discuss what she calls mutual cooperation protocols. The tribunal has been observing your alliance model with interest, she says, her star-bright eyes studying us from across the conference table. Your success rate in conflict resolution and threat mitigation has been notable. Notable, Cole repeats. Is that ancient council speak for impressive? The faintest smile touches Astrid's lips. Perhaps. The point is, we're prepared to offer limited cooperation. Information sharing, early warning systems for major supernatural threats, advisory support when requested. In exchange for? I ask, because there's always an exchange. Continued adherence to the fundamental rules. No reality tiers, no exposure of the supernatural world to human authorities, no catastrophic magical failures. That was already our plan, Cole points out. Then we have an agreement. Astrid inclines her head. Consider this a probationary arrangement. Prove that the convergence can exist without destroying everything around it, and the council will grant you full autonomy. And if we fail, then we will do what we should have done 6 months ago. The threat hangs in the air, but it's tempered now with something like respect. After the meeting, Marcus pulls us aside. That went better than expected. They're hedging their bets, I say. If we succeed, they can claim they supported us all along. If we fail, they can say they tried to prevent it. Cynical but probably accurate, Cole agrees. Either way, it buys us time and resources. And legitimacy, Marcus adds. With the council's tacit approval, more packs will feel comfortable joining the alliance. He's right. By the end of the week, 5 more supernatural groups have requested membership. The alliance is growing faster than we ever anticipated. But with growth comes new challenges. A week later, I'm in the middle of a design meeting. Yes, I still work with Marcus's team, still create art when I can, when my phone rings with an unfamiliar number. Aurora Blake? Speaking. My name is Dr. Eliza Chin. I'm a researcher at the University of Washington's Supernatural Studies Department. I'm calling because we've detected unusual magical signatures emanating from your location, and we'd like to request an interview. I freeze. Supernatural Studies Department? It's a classified division funded by the government, she explains. We study supernatural phenomena in the Pacific Northwest. Your convergence has been on our radar for months, and we'd very much like to understand it better. I end the call and immediately dial Cole. We have a problem, I say when he answers. The government knows about us. Chapter 9. The revelation that the government has been monitoring supernatural activity sends shockwaves through the alliance. Within hours, we've called an emergency meeting of all pack leaders and supernatural representatives. The conference room is packed. Werewolves, vampires, witches, fae. Every supernatural faction in the Pacific Northwest has sent someone, and they're all looking to Cole and me for answers. How long have they known? Asks Melissa, alpha of the Vancouver pack. According to Dr. Chun, they've had a classified supernatural studies division for decades, I explain. But the convergence triggered new monitoring systems. We're too powerful to hide. Then we eliminate the threat, Vincent Blackwood says from his corner of the room. He's part of the alliance now, reluctantly, but he's here. Take out the researchers before they can report their findings. No, Cole says firmly. We're not murderers. And killing government researchers would only confirm their worst fears about supernatural threats. Then what do you propose? Melissa asks. Transparency, I say, and feel the shock ripple through the room. Controlled transparency. We meet with Dr. Chun, answer her questions, prove that we're not a threat. You want to expose the supernatural world to human authorities? Vincent's voice drips with disdain. They already know we exist, Marcus points out. The question is whether we control the narrative or let them write their own story about us. The debate rages for hours. Some argue for complete secrecy, others for aggressive action. But slowly, a consensus emerges around our proposal. Careful, limited cooperation with the government researchers. If this fails, Melissa warns, if they decide we're too dangerous to coexist with, then we'll face that threat together, Cole finishes. As an alliance. That's what we built this for. The meeting with Dr. Chun happens 3 days later in a secure location. Neutral ground monitored by both supernatural security and government agents. She's younger than I expected, maybe 40, with sharp eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses, and an air of barely contained excitement. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," she says, setting up recording equipment. "I want to be clear. This research is classified, but it's not hostile. We're not trying to weaponize supernatural abilities or create some kind of supernatural army. We're simply trying to understand." "Understand what?" Cole asks. "How you exist alongside humanity without constant conflict. How your alliance has reduced supernatural-related incidents by 40% in 6 months. How the convergence." She pauses, choosing her words carefully. "How you've created something that every theoretical model says should be impossible." Over the next 3 hours, we explain. Not everything. There are secrets we keep even from well-meaning researchers. But enough. The mate bond, the convergence, the alliance structure, our methods for conflict resolution. Dr. Chun listens, records, asks intelligent questions. And gradually, I realize she's not afraid of us. She's fascinated. "What you've built," she says finally, "it's remarkable. You've essentially created a new social structure that bridges human and supernatural communities." "That's the idea," I say. "And the convergence magic. You've had no catastrophic failures? No reality tears or temporal anomalies?" "None," Cole confirms. "The magic is stable, controlled. We're not a threat." Dr. Chin sits back, studying us. "I believe you. The question is whether my superiors will. What do they think we are? A potential weapon, a potential threat, a potential solution." She meets my eyes. "There are supernatural problems the government can't solve. Rogue elements, dangerous entities, situations that require power and knowledge we don't have. If we could work together." "You want to recruit us," I realize. "I want to propose a partnership. Limited, carefully defined, mutually beneficial. You help us with supernatural threats we can't handle. We provide resources, legal protection, and support for your alliance." Cole and I exchange glances, our bond allowing us to have an entire conversation in seconds. "We'll need to discuss this with the alliance," I say finally. "Of course. But Aurora," Dr. Chin leans forward. "This could change everything. Imagine a world where supernatural and human authorities work together instead of hiding from each other. Where people like you don't have to live in shadows. It's a beautiful vision. It's also terrifying." The alliance votes 3 days later. The debate is heated, the decision close. But ultimately, by a narrow margin, they agree to a trial partnership. 1 year. Limited cooperation. Strict protocols about what information gets shared and what remains secret. "We're making history," Marcus says as we finalize the agreement. "Or making a terrible mistake," Vincent mutters. But even he voted yes. 6 months into the government partnership, the benefits are undeniable. Supernatural-related crimes have dropped by 60%. 3 major threats have been neutralized through cooperation. The alliance has expanded to include groups in Oregon and California. But success brings new challenges. We're getting reports of supernatural refugees. Marcus tells us during our weekly briefing. Beings fleeing persecution in other regions, hoping to find sanctuary in alliance territory. How many? Dozens so far. Could be hundreds by next month. Cole and I look at each other. Our territory is already stretched thin. Our resources spread across an ever-growing alliance. "We accept them," I say. "All of them," Vincent protests. "We don't have the infrastructure." "Then we build it," Cole says firmly. "That's what the alliance is for. Protection, sanctuary, community. It's not easy. We have to negotiate with human authorities, find housing, create support systems. There are tensions, conflicts, growing pains. But slowly it works. By the end of our first year as a converged couple, we've built something unprecedented, a functioning supernatural human cooperative society. It's messy, imperfect, constantly evolving. It's also beautiful. Dear listener, if this story has awakened something within you, if you've felt every heartbreak and triumph alongside Aurora, then don't let this journey slip away. Subscribe now because the next chapter holds the ultimate test. Ancient powers from beyond our world. A challenge that will determine not just Aurora and Cole's fate, but the future of every supernatural being in existence. The Convergence has caught the attention of forces older than the Council itself, and what's coming will reshape everything you thought you knew about magic, destiny, and the power of choice. Subscribe, and let's face the final revelation together. Epilogue. The wedding happens on the autumn equinox, in a garden overlooking the city. My mother has outdone herself. It's elegant, beautiful, and somehow manages to blend human and supernatural traditions seamlessly. The dress she commissioned is stunning. Silver silk that seems to shimmer with its own inner light, embroidered with symbols from a dozen different supernatural cultures. When I look at myself in the mirror, I barely recognize the woman staring back. Riley helps me with the final touches, her eyes bright with tears. "You look like a queen," she says. I look terrified. "That too." She squeezes my hand. "But you've got this. You've faced down ancient counselors and government agencies. You can handle a wedding." The ceremony itself is a blur of faces and moments. Pack members mixed with human friends, supernatural representatives from across the West Coast, even Dr. Chun and her team observing from a respectful distance. And there's Cole, waiting for me at the altar in his midnight blue suit, his amber eyes glowing with love and pride. We're already mated, already bound in every way that matters. But this is different. This is our choice to celebrate that bond publicly, to declare to both human and supernatural worlds that we belong to each other. The vows we speak are our own creation, blending pack traditions with human marriage rites. I claim you not just as mate, but as partner, equal, beloved. I promise to stand with you in darkness and light, in peace and conflict, in certainty and doubt. Your battles are my battles. Your joys are my joys. From this moment until the end of time, I am yours as you are mine. When Cole kisses me, the Convergence magic flares, silver and gold light visible to everyone present, a physical manifestation of our bond. The reception is a revelation. I watch werewolves dancing with humans, vampires chatting with government researchers, centuries-old beings laughing at Riley's jokes. This is what we've built. Not just an alliance, but a community. A bridge between worlds. As the evening winds down, Cole and I slip away to a quiet corner of the garden. Above us, stars are beginning to emerge in the darkening sky. "No regrets?" he asks, echoing the question from months ago. I think about the woman I was a year ago, scared, struggling, facing eviction and seeing no future beyond survival. Then I think about who I am now, powerful, connected, building something that matters. "None," I say. "Only that it took so long to find you." "We have time now," he says, pulling me close. "All the time in the world." Through our bond, I feel the truth of it. Whatever challenges come, and they will come, we'll face them together. The Convergence was just the beginning. Our story is far from over. As we stand together under the stars, surrounded by our chosen family, I realize something profound. I'm not just Aurora Blake anymore, and I'm not just a supernatural being either. I'm something new, something unprecedented. I'm the bridge between worlds, the convergence of old magic and new, the proof that transformation, real, fundamental, soul-deep transformation, is possible. And this is just the beginning of what will become. The music from the reception drifts across the garden. Cole extends his hand, and I take it, letting him pull me into a dance under the moonlight. Our magic spirals around us, silver and gold, wild and controlled, human and supernatural, as perfectly balanced as we are. This is our happily ever after. Not because everything is perfect, not because we have no more challenges to face, but because we have each other, and we have hope, and we have the courage to keep building something better. The Convergence changed everything, and we're only just beginning to understand what that means. The end.